So today Ryan and I are working on a super exciting project, and I thought I'd bring you along, and that's going to be setting up our off-grid build site. So we're getting ready to start building Ryan's off-grid shop, and then that's also where our future home is going to be as well. And so our plan for today is going to be dewinterizing our camper here, and then we'll be hauling it back there, which is about a half a mile back to our build site, and getting it all set up with solar power and water and all that good stuff. So I think it'll be super interesting for you, especially if you're thinking about buying some land or setting up a off-grid homestead, just how to make it work. And a camper is a great first step, especially if you're going to be buying land. That way you can have a home base, somewhere to live for a little bit while you're building your home. So this will be a fun little adventure. It'll give you a chance to take a look at our future home build site. I don't think I've shown anybody our house build site yet, so that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay. Here it is, all bunked out. It's pretty roomy, really. We've spent a few nights in here, and we're definitely going to spend quite a bit more this summer and fall. We have a little bathroom in here, so we'll be able to use a full shower, toilet, the nice area to eat here, and a little mini kitchen. It's all you really need. Over here is our bedroom. I'm washing the bedding, so we don't have that all made up yet. So now we're going to set up our solar power system so we can power it up.
This is solving a big problem for us here in the camper. This is our OUPES Mega 2. And you can see the thing's dirty because I've been using the crap out of it. So last year when we bought the camper, I went and bought some solar panels and a little solar charger to keep the house battery topped off. And we were using the 12-volt system in here off-grid like that. But that doesn't help you if you want to run your laptop and things like that. So this summer I was going to try and get an inverter and set up a bigger battery bank and kind of piece the system together. And it was going to get pretty pricey and complex, and trying to find a spot for it was going to be difficult. So the OUPES solves those problems for us. What this is a 2 kilowatt lithium iron phosphate battery. It's a 2500 watt inverter, pure sine, 120 volt. And then it also has an MPPI tracker with a pretty hefty charge capability for solar. It'll also charge off other means, but for what we're doing here, the solar was the really key part. So we'll start working through this, but it has 4 20 amp outlets on the front, and then it also has a 30 amp RV hookup. It has a 12 volt 30 amp output here if you wanted to hook up some 12 volt stuff. It has some charge ports for USB, USB-C, it's got a cigarette lighter. So you have all sorts of ways to get power out of it. It has 3 ways to get power into it. So this is your solar hookup. It comes with all sorts of little dongles for using different types of solar adapters for panels. It has a 120 volt power plug. Looks like something an old computer may have hooked up with. And then, oh, I'm sorry, that's just a fuse. You can then also you can parallel this with other Mega 2s. So you could put several of these units together if you needed more power. So if we decide that 2 kilowatts isn't enough for us, we need more storage, we could go get another one of these and plug it right in and we'd be good to go. So what I've been using this for primarily up till now is I've been running a little sump pump off of it. We've been having tons of rain. I'm preparing my shop site over there, and I've just been fighting puddles and water everywhere. So I have a little sump pump I've been running off this. That little thing pulls about 350 watts, and I can run this thing for 4 or 5 hours at a time and have no problem just pumping out all the water. I can just let it go, come back later, it'll just take care of it. But what it'll do here is we're going to plug it into the house system here. It'll maintain the 12 volt system, and then it'll provide 120 volts. So back here we want to be able to run several continuous power sources. We have things that we want on all the time back here to make this place work for our work crew that's going to be staying in here, and then us when we come out, Katie when she wants to use this as an office. And the things we want to run are this dyna trap. So this is our mosquito trap. I checked, it pulls 35 watts. It runs all the time to be effective. This will be running all the time. We also need internet back here. So we have this long range wireless bridge that's going to shoot internet to us from the cabin half a mile away. That's going to be powered by this PoE switch. So this is just a little power over Ethernet switch. So this will pull, I don't know, I think it's about 50 watts. I'm not really sure. It depends on what you have all hooked up to it. So we're going to find out, but it'll run the long range antenna. And then we're also going to have our wireless hotspot out here too. So then this is going to repeat the wireless out here so we can pick it up, or the Wi-Fi, excuse me. And we run these all over our place. We have a big wireless mesh set up out at our place here because we don't have cell service. So this is the only way we communicate. So those are going to be continuous usage. And that's going to be anywhere between 100 and 200 watts. So on this thing, running all night, that'll take 10 hours for it to run it dead. So it should be able to do that. And then when we have the solar panels hooked up, we are going to use some of those solar panels, the extra ones left over from when we went and got the free solar panels. We're going to run 2 500 watt panels, so we'll have 1,000 watts worth of solar. The MPPI tracker on this thing is pretty impressive. It'll take up to 150 volts, which is really cool. So we're going to take our two 40, I think they're like 42 volt panels, and we'll put them in series. So they'll add up to, right around 100 volts, which is well within this thing's capabilities. And this will take up to 15 amps. So if you ran 3 of those panels, we could put a heck of a lot of panels, a lot of watts of power on this thing, which for the amount of storage it has wouldn't make sense, but we are going to use this for when we're working on the shop. So during the day when it's sunny, when we're working, we could have 2,000 to 3,000 watts of power just being fed into this from solar, and then the inverter would convert it to up to 2,500 watts of power for us. So it'll run all of our saws, it'll run our small compressors, things like that. So it's a very versatile tool. They do make Mega 3s and Mega 5s, which the numbers, the kilowatts of storage, so it'd be 3 kilowatts of storage, 5 kilowatts of storage. You know, I don't really know how much we're going to need. I think you probably can never have too much, but we're going to start with this and see what it does for us. So what we're doing here is we're going to plug it into the 30 amp plug from the RV. I bought an extension cord for it, and we're just going to see how it runs, just whatever the systems are in here. It should be able to run the air conditioner, which would be cool to see if it does that. It does output, when you turn it on, how many watts you're pulling from it on the front here. So this is the percent charge remaining. This is telling you what kind of power it's putting out. So it's 60 hertz, and then it just kicked on. So that's 120 volts. And then it tells you how many hours of charge you have remaining and what your current draw is. So, or not, I guess it puts it in wattage, not current, but we'll be able to turn things on and see what it's pulling, and then it'll tell us how much time it'll run. So we'll see what it's going to do. Alright, so this is the extension cord, and there used to be a couch right here. The previous owner removed it, but this was a hatch to get under the couch. So it's a convenient way for us to get the power cord into here. So I'm going to plug this into the front. It's pulling 56 watts, 55 watts. What that is doing, the current it's drawing right now, is the battery maintainer. So we set this thing up, we ran the bump out, we turned on some lights, we powered some things up, we ran the house battery down a little bit. So it's pulling 52 watts now. It's trickling down as it tops off the battery, but it's saying we have 22 hours until it's dead, and it's 98%. So the one I really want to do, I want to try the air conditioning. So I'm going to go kick the air conditioning.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Why don't you just keep it on there and see what it does.
Okay. Sounds like it's on.
Yeah, so you can tell it's spiked up there to 1,700 watts for the inrush. and now it's settling down as the compressor gets up to speed. So about 1100 watts and 1 hour of runtime. We got air conditioning for an hour, but I mean, it's impressive that it'll turn it on and run it.
All right, now we're gonna try turning the lights on the camper.
So we did change these bulbs out to LEDs, which is good, and it looks like it added maybe 15 watts to it. Should we try the microwave?
Yeah, try the microwave. Make sure there's no mice in there.
All right, what's it doing?
Oh, we're up there.
Wow. Oh, and you could hear the cooling fans kick on, so that's pretty neat. So it's doing its thing. We just gotta get some solar hooked up to it now. Let's go do panels.
So we're super pumped about our OUPES power station, and it's absolutely going to make things possible for us back here on our build site as we're getting everything set up and building and all those fun things. And if you've been thinking about getting a power station, I highly recommend it. And I have a 5% off discount code for you. It's just THRD5. And if you're lucky enough to be watching this video between June 10th and June 19th, there is an additional Father's Day sale going on where you can get an additional 10% off any order that's over $1,500, and you can combine that with my 5% off for a total of $15, which is incredible. You're definitely not going to want to miss this super sale. I'm going to put more information about the sale in the description below along with my affiliate link. If you're willing to use that, I so appreciate it. So now we're going to work on setting up our solar panels so we can keep that energy flowing.
So we're gonna sandwich them around here.
A little bit, whoa, too much.
Hang on, it's taking off on me.
We get lots of power at 9 o'clock at night. Just in time for sunset. There you go.
I wish I had a stick.
Just happened to have.
All right, we got a stick.
So I just need to make sure it doesn't move.
Yep. Okay, and then actually make it go straight down that pole. Just like step on it.
Oh, sure. Like...
Yep. And
that?
then
Here.
here. Okay, do you want to actually come step on it right here now?
Okay.
Try and do some sort of organization of these cables.
That's good. Skeeters are starting to come out. Well, hi there, Tucker. You gonna help?
Yeah, let's go see if we got anything.
All right, let's do it. We got juice.
We got a full 30 watts.
Ooh.
Out of our 1,000 watts of panels. Oh, now it's down to 4. We're not getting much anything out of it.
Well, it is like 8:30.
but they are charging.
Tomorrow will be a better day. And lastly, I wanted to give you guys a little tour of our future build site, or where we're going to be building our home. Hopefully in a few more years. We're getting there. We're focusing on getting Ryan's shop in first, and then next we'll be building our forever home. We're loving our cabin life and our cozy little 960 square foot cabin, but we don't want to be there forever. So I will flip the camera around, show you where my future garden is going to go, and I just love it back here. Okay, so here is the camper that we just set up, and we have just this open kind of bare area that we've been using for construction area. We're definitely going to get materials laid here, so it's kind of open and bare, not very good soil right now, but someday I think this is where my future garden is going to go, because it's nice and open. Might take a couple trees down, but much of our property is wooded, and so just to have an open area as is without us having to put a lot of work in it is huge. So I think this is where my future garden is going to go. And another thing that makes it nice is actually where all these little fences are apple trees. So the previous owner put these in, and I'm just so happy to have them, and they're doing really well. So it'll be like an orchard around the garden here, and if we go this way, that is where the house is going to go. So you'll have a nice view of the garden from the house, and it'll make it nice and accessible. So we'll go over here so you can see where the house is going to go. And that's another reason why I love having the camper here, so we can kind of really feel out the space and get a sense of what it's going to feel like living back here before we're fully committed. So totally hope that we spend a lot of nights in this camper this summer. So as we walk this way past our solar panels, you're going to notice there's a little bit of a hill up here. And so we really wanted to have a walkout basement and to have a second story deck so we could escape the mosquitoes. We had a second story deck on our split level on our first homestead, and it was great. The bugs weren't up there much at all. So here we go. So this is where a little bit of a hill is. So we'll of course need to clear some of these trees out, but the house will be sitting there with a walkout. So excited. It's still where you have a long ways to go. Looks very far from a house build site and getting the foundation in, but I think this is just going to be an awesome, awesome spot. And here I'm standing on top of the hill now, so you'll see what our view will look like. We'll clear some of the trees out to open it up a little bit, but yeah, so my garden will be right down there with the orchard, which I hope to expand more things than just the apple trees, probably some plum trees, maybe some cherry trees, some grapevines. We'll see. So that's about it for setting up our off-grid build site, our camper back here. The only thing we have left is hooking up the internet. So we are almost there. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and being a part of our journey. It's been so fun to share what we're doing here with you. And huge thank you to OUPES for helping us out with the power station and just making this all possible. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one.